We're going to go back to 1994, 30 years of Tupac when he got shot at the studio. The whole thing with Puffy Biggie, the unsolved of that, but that was downplayed during his court case and what ended up becoming of that. But how this unfolded and one thing led to who was involved, who wasn't involved, and with Diddy and Biggie and Junior Mafia and all that, and how it seemed like the East Coast had turned on him and left him behind. It's hard to believe because I remember when the whole thing with him in the wheelchair and everything like that. And, it was like he was going through his case and everything that happened and all that, and how it was kind of like a wild time remembering that whole event. It's 30 years upon, and so much done happened. But yet, who's all tied to that? But that wasn't really seen as a thing because in the public eye and in the media eye, Tupac was a bad guy. So when he got capped, they weren't saying much. It's kind of funny when you look back in hindsight about that whole thing that went down at the studio in New York, how the media was about it. So he had been very talkative. He had said a lot of things. He had said things in code. He had said things very direct. But people didn't really, push it as to the whole ramifications of it at the time. So it was kind of like interesting how, things kind of had played and what they had been and what they were. So anyway, um, it's just a interesting time to review that, thinking about that time because I remember that time just like yesterday, and it became a sense of like, wow, there was really something out. Streets was out for him, and how it got portrayed. And the thing is that before he had gotten locked up with everything, it was just like so much going on. But then he said something that was very pivotal and memorable. He said he cut all his cases and everything, or all the problems he had was when he's in the industry. He said before that, well, not as such. So you do wonder and wonder why, people distant, people were distant and they stayed away. Now, Madonna was loyal to it and, there's a few others, but a lot of times people were kind of distanced towards that whole scene. So that was a big deal when he got shot with everything that was going on. And before this was months before his Me Against the World album came out and everything. So he had been, above the rim had been shot. All that stuff had been coming out. He had movies. There was a lot of stuff going on. But what really happened in New York? Who is going to ever speak on it? And they're going to bring that, are they going to bring that back? There's so much that's tied into him that connects so many other dots and pieces because there is still a lot of layers that haven't been touched upon. And though it's been 30 years, that doesn't seem that long ago because the people who were around remember that whole time period very well. But that whole thing in New York and how it ensued, and there's just so much goes on. And you just kind of wonder today, you know, but that wasn't even pursued fully. How does it go to a studio? You would think in a studio that's protected, people have a track record of everybody that signs in, signs out. It's a business place, right? So who has access to get in there and to infiltrate? Gets you kind of wondering. But there's a lot of people that know more and they still haven't really addressed that. Nothing about his situation has been properly addressed, if we must know. But it's just a thinking part of going back to 30 years ago, that particular night, that whole scene, who knew what and when and where and how it went down. So everybody's taking an educated guess, but what do they remember? Please select, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another and share it if you like. Hit that membership because when you do questions and so on, I go into very deep details. Stay free, stay blessed, stay woke, stay true, stay you. There's a lot of mystery that is still tied to how he just got shot. He lived to tell that, but there's still a lot of unsolved that's involved with that night in New York and that subsequently things that revolve around what Tupac was saying and what was going on. I'm out. Peace.